Good afternoon and welcome to Hope Live here on Hope Channel Zambia. We are very excited that you could join us. Today we are still probably basking in the same momentum that we had when we were building towards the Youth Day activities, but not forgetting also that this month really has been dominated by women, and that's why they are calling it Women's Month. But away from that, there is a lot that happens around the country and beyond that, calls for our attention, and that's the reason why Hope Live comes your way every other time on this platform. I'm your host. My name is Bright Sinkos. Mwene Muyanga is with me on the platform today. Mwene, welcome to Hope Live.
Thank you. It's always exciting to be here, but I think Monday is betraying me today.
You are in Monday blues.
Yes. But when I'm on Hope Live, I think it gets better. So
well, it has to get better, and there is no better way to make things better than having you watching this program, and your participation is going to make things a lot better for us. That's the reason why there is this number for you to participate on this program, 0976 151517. I almost forgot that number. Maybe when they're influencing me with the Monday blues on his corner. But anyway, let's begin from, maybe we can even talk to one person or two on this platform. 0976 151517. The Imisepela. I don't know if my pronunciation is even, my accent is okay, but it's a Bemba terminology. Imisepela, that's to mean youths. Government has developed an app that provides updates for the youth in terms of job opportunities and all that. You are a young person. Have you downloaded the app already?
I was just checking it. Of course, it looks good, and it is providing a lot of opportunities. By the way, the CEEC, Citizens Economic Empowerment Fund, has released about 20 million, if my memory serves me right, kwacha, and has deposited it into the app to help youths. And 300 youths so far have benefited from that money using the app.
Is it free money? What's the
so
money
those
for?
are grants as well as loans to help young people to at least just get started with something.
And you said how many have accessed the money, the funds?
About 300 youths just within this short space of time.
Yeah, the app was officially launched on the Youth Day, 12th March.
So between that day and now, over 300 youths have benefited from the app. And so that is just an aspect of CEEC alone. So we are also talking about possibly other companies that maybe have offered jobs to young people and they have not just yet reported. So I think it's a very good application with a lot of good intentions, and we are yet to see many young people benefit. And so we would also love to get the feedback from the young people themselves, and that is why we are here today, so that we are not just talking from without. If any of you has tried the app and it's working, and maybe you have grabbed an opportunity or you are yet to grab one, we are more than eager to hear from you as well, so that as we begin to talk about some of these things, people will be able to see that actually these things are working, because we in an environment that is at the moment politically charged. I'm trying to be very careful with my words so that actually even this statement does not in the end seem to sound so
politically inclined.
Exactly, because most of the times we tend to politicize everything, that in the end we miss out the help that we intend to get. So if you are looking at it from just a developmental point of view, this is a very good application that will help many of us young people. Some of us have ideas, we have these business proposals, but we don't have the funding. And so CEEC pumps in the money, and it's a challenge to my fellow young people that out of this 20 plus million kwacha, I think there should be a percentage that belongs to you if indeed you are really committed to what you want to achieve, and you can go through and see how we can access the money. There's also a lot of opportunities from various companies, both government and private companies, on that very app, offering various opportunities.
Well, it sounds to me it's a great initiative that government has come across, and the fact that you in your capacity from the scribe's point of view, you have really noted that it is outside the political inclination, outside the political affiliation, then it means it's for every Zambian.
Exactly.
And I think I've followed online where people are, well, they're just talking about uploading your NRC details and all that, which in a way does not even indicate to say this one is a supporter of a particular political grouping, and that should give everyone an advantage. Here is my my bone of contention.
Yeah.
A number of people that are downplaying this initiative are not even young people themselves.
No, it's not the young people.
If it is not young people, then I would be very excited to hear the young people say their side of the story.
Oh, yeah?
Let the young people be the ones who are going to say this particular application is not good for us as the young people because we have not seen the benefits and all that. But I want to believe that other than the young people, we can also agree that they are job opportunities on that app that are already flashed that are not really for the young people. I think there was an argument of experience and whatnot, but it's a platform that really offers somebody the opportunity. Let's get to hear from somebody. If you're watching now and you have accessed the app and you're able to testify of what you've already experienced so far. I think it's just about 4 days after it was launched. Can you say anything that you have observed about that app? The number is 0976 151517, and we'll talk to you right on TV, 0976 1515, and we'll be very excited to hear from you. It might not be a young person really, but even anyone of the elderly people that have seen this, and maybe they can testify of its beautifulness, then we can move in that direction. So the number remains open, and we'll be so glad to hear from you at this point. But tell me something. The opportunities that are presented on that particular app, long before the app, maybe we are only known to a few people.
Oh, yeah?
And now that there is this application, provided you have access to the app, it gives you an opportunity to see what is happening. For example, the money you're talking about, 20,300,000 have accessed it this far. If that money was merely announced on a platform like this one or any media spaces, maybe you'd have had only people from within Lusaka accessing this. But in terms of the platform, it's everyone across the country. But let's talk about the young people in our rural areas who maybe to some extent will have no access to internet, number one. Number two, they don't have these gadgets that gives them easy access to platforms like this one because it's an app. To them, what do you think would be the best approach government would take to ensure that they are part of the national cake?
I want to believe most of the young people who are going to get these opportunities, most of them maybe who have at least a basic education.
All right.
And I want to believe that they have access to a gadget. Okay, for example, the CEEC is not just for people who have gone to school, but it's for young people who at least have knowledge even on how they can run their businesses. And so talking of inclusivity in order to reach out to those who are even in far-flung areas, I think we saw the president trying to speaking to that when he was in Solwezi, on Youth Day. And also we have seen the Smart Zambia is also trying as much as possible to improve connectivity in far-flung areas, by trying to use the latest internet that is on board. And I think that is also going to help to broaden the access of this particular application so that no young person feels left out.
All right, it's all for the young people, but when you can access this important app that has been developed by the country, the government, then you have every reason to take hold of that. While we are waiting to hear from you, it could be by way of sending us a text message, or indeed you can call us. Let's also go to Chingola. Away from Solwezi, Chingola seems to have also risen to the occasion and brought something very, very important. And that's the reason why maybe we should talk about building responsible communities as our subtopic. The issue of mob, is it justice mob?
Yes.
That happened. But fill me in. What exactly came out of Chingola?
Okay, Ish, there's a very disturbing incident.
Okay.
Yeah, that transpired in Chingola. And I think we can see it's based on a lot of maybe, let me say, superstition.
Yeah.
And I want to say superstition because I think our country has got so much belief on some of these things. And I am not trying to shame such kind of things, but to some extent we begin to, instead of using reason, we use superstition on certain things that are straightforward. And here is why this man, who can only be declared innocent by the laws of Zambia,
Right,
was found in this situation as a result of where we come from as a nation, where we believe some of these things can actually happen. And they believed using magic, you know, he made some of these, you know, essential
parts
exactly disappear
yeah.
from these men. And it was,
I'm told the number is 5.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 men who
claimed
that was the situation. But I think when the police got into the matter, from the statement that has been released by Zambia Police Service, contrary to what was being displayed on social media, we found the opposite was true. And it was so unfortunate that this man was, we can say, abused, beaten in public, and he was shamed because of that. And so it was so embarrassing, and it's a very unfortunate incident.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but hilarious if you asked me.
Of course.
Because how would you claim you have your essentials missing and then accuse another person? Did you see him get them?
So that is where the bigger problem is. There was no tangible proof that someone could give at that particular time. And I think that is why the police was quick to just put this case aside when they did the examinations. I think Mr. Godfrey Chilali explained that those guys had a voluntary check and everything was normal. So it's just these beliefs that sometimes we carry. You know, my heart was broken. I think last week it was another incident that happened because of these superstitious traditional beliefs that we carry as a nation, where I can't seem to remember the place, but this lady had her house burned. You know, I'm trying to remember the local word that they use, where if someone dies and before they are buried, the coffin is carried around to, and they believe it is going to carry them to the person who is responsible for their death. Yes, and so this incident happened last week, and this woman, luckily, the time her house was being burnt, she wasn't home. And people who were gracious enough warned her not to go home, because had she been in the house, she would have been a dead woman by now. And so we do these things, and we end up hurting innocent citizens because of some of these past beliefs that we have carried for a long time. And this is the same situation that this man, 61-year-old man from Chingola, found himself in. And if you can check on social media right now, it's trending on almost every Facebook page. And so now you have to look at the extent of the damage this is going to cause. even if he is found innocent, the damage has already been made.
Yeah, because he's been assaulted.
Exactly.
But that's besides the point. The quick reaction to what I want in this context refer to as rumor, because it's obvious that somebody said that Niba responsible. And then at the end of the day, what happens, this person is innocent, but you've assaulted this individual. When we flip this page, you discover that you who thought you were a hero at that time, based on a rumor, you have now to answer to the law.
Exactly.
Which at that particular time you thought you had the power to take the law in your hands. But here is the thing. The Zambia police finally received this man, and with the complainants in place, let's check and see if you have your essentials. And you discover that you have everything that you are claiming was stolen from you or was plucked from you by this individual. And then what happens then? Because the issue is he got, and then what you are claiming he got, you have it. So where is the proof? Now, we are not downplaying the issue of witchcraft or magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
These things would happen. Maybe it is possible. But I don't even see how he would be in a position to reverse anything, because immediately he was manhandled, dragged into a car, taken to the police. And at that particular time, you don't even expect him to perform anything anyway. But then you check and discover that you have everything intact with you.
Yeah.
The 4 or 5 of you, everything on your body is as intact as it was before you started beating this man. So it's the issue of rumors. Now, this you realize that, first of all, rumors do spread faster. But then there is a danger to the side of rumor. And listen, in many societies, rumors can spread rapidly, especially when people are already fearful or uncertain.
Yes.
I want to believe that this was coming at the time when there was already tension in the area. And so the next person you find who is a suspect. Even look at what we do in the villages, in our communities. You hear that somebody is accused of witchcraft. We want to bend them. We want to beat them. The story that you've just given now, that happened last week. And we have had so many stories happen like that. So it's possible that somebody just suspected and began to spread the rumor. And it will spread faster. Because there is already this commotion in the society. But then we want to believe that so much rumors can lead to false accusations. There is also violence. Then it also leads to justice, mob justice. Now, from the point of being a Christian nation, I think we are called to seek truth and avoid spreading unverified information. Let us live in a time where we are going to allow, if there is a problem, the law to take its course. You have evidence, everything on me is missing. You bring this person to police. They'll testify how they managed to get your essentials away from you and to move in that direction. This is what Proverbs chapter 14 verse 15 tells us. The simple believe anything. But the prudent give thought to their steps. I can almost feel the tension within me, because look at the embarrassment that you failed to give thought because you are prudent to a situation.
Exactly.
Now, it proves that you are just a simple person because you reacted. Something has just happened. Oh, Maset Baba. Then quickly you begin to... There is that man I saw in the video who was actually in a suit, beautiful suit. And he was whipping this gentleman, dragging him left, right, and center. So furious.
Kicking him. You know, I even failed to play that video out of respect. I thought it was just way... Of course, it's in public domain. It's there on social media. But that's very humiliating to someone. That's a father, a grandfather, a church member, and a community member. True. So he's got so much to lose out of whatever has happened. And here is one man, like you mentioned, in that suit, kicking him around and doing all those sorts of things, which is not supposed to be the case. And we must not believe everything that we hear on face value before we have been able to verify if the information is true, because it will not only save the person we're accusing, it saves us also.
True.
What happens if next time there is a similar situation and you happen to be the suspect, even when you do not understand anything? People will treat you the same way you treated another person. But if we get to understand that some of these things, we need to simply verify. We just verify if it's true. And even verification has not given us room to begin to pronounce judgment on someone on behalf of the laws of Zambia. So if there's someone who is found wanting, we take them to police. And then the law will take its course.
That's the thing. Romans 12, verse 19 tells us, vengeance is not for us.
It's not for us.
You do not wield the power to do anything, because even if this person has offended you, it is proven that this person has done this act. You do not have the right to inflict pain on them and condemn them almost immediately. I think there is need for us to take responsibility on our actions. And the issues of communication at this particular time becomes very critical. Maybe back in time you would get away with anything, but today everyone is filming everything. And you'll be in the picture. It will show what exactly you did. Then now see how things stand. Because you failed to do what was right at the point of doing it. And I think the advice that I would give now to the public is that before sharing, before even waking up to do injustice to another individual, the best is ask if it is true, be sure it is true by the law. And imagine if this gentleman was involved in the same accusation they were giving him. This would have ended up in court, and the court was going to pronounce itself on the matter. I've seen situations where a number of us in our compounds have beaten people because we suspect they are thieves. I'm saying suspect because we have found them in our property, that maybe they haven't even gotten anything they were trying to, and then we beat them. By the time we are taking them to the police, these people are heavily injured. The police would not even keep them. The next thing they'll say, take them to the hospital. Now, what have we benefited from that, other than unleashing our anger on this individual? They might be guilty, but it is not within us to really inflict pain on these individuals. They are not innocent. They might not be innocent in our eyes, but there is a law that is going to pronounce them guilty. I think even from the Christian perspective, maybe drawing a lesson out of that in our Christian walk. The Bible says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. It is not Mwene's glory. It is not Bright's glory. It is the glory of God. I've got no business in getting offended on behalf of God, whose glory has been offended. He is so patient with us to a point where even when he saw that we have sinned against him, what does he do? He allows his son to die for us who have offended him, us that have fallen short of his glory. And if we have fallen short of God's glory and he still exercises mercy, his grace is in abundance, then who am I to just wake up and say, no, Mwene, you are a sinner, so we are condemning you to death?
That is not supposed to be the case. And also, to just put the record straight, that does not mean we are excusing someone's wrong.
No.
But then we are saying, let it be handled the way it is supposed to be. Because we should always put ourselves in the place of the offender. If I was the offender at that particular time, how would I love to be treated? Obviously not the same way that man was beaten. I would love people to understand maybe why I did something. Okay? And not saying that man did, of course. We're just saying you would love people to understand before you explain yourself. And I think that is what was supposed to happen. compared to just beginning to hit any other person. And like you said, we live in a world of technology now. There is nothing hidden that you can do. The moment you just, throw the first fist, it's already on social media. The next thing you see is police looking for you, and they have the evidence that you did something. Okay? And sometimes we are just spectating. You were there. You can be carried because, with AI these days, someone can just show a kick, you were kicking there, and you will not be able to defend yourself. Yeah. So the best we can do is when we see someone is in that kind of a situation, we need to run to help, not to begin to inflict pain on someone. Yeah. The incident in Chingola is so unfortunate.
Well, so unfortunate. We have seen on some pages really indicating that the gentleman actually, the accused, is actually a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and a deacon for that matter. And now there are pages affiliated, really leaning so much on the church, who are saying there should be justice for the deacon. Now, I don't know how, but really, should he decide to now flip the page, that is if he got a medical report and all that, chances are that the people that were beating him also have to account for their, there's a word that somebody used that I find too big for a situation, but atrocities.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's, and it's simple, man. Sometimes we just have to agree that to every cause there is an action, there is an effect. And because of that, when the outcome finally shows itself, you need to account for that.
Oh yeah.
And now, how do you defend yourself? You know that there are some of us that used to get upset. You hear Kawalala. The next thing is because you are offended because somebody had stolen from you previously, you want to quickly come and begin to move in that direction and begin to beat also. You don't even know what he did. And when things change, tables turn, you discover that you're actually the main culprit, even when you were supposed to be innocent.
You're also an offender.
Yeah, We shouldn't allow such things to happen. The truth is, according to John chapter 8, verse 32 rather, tells us that the truth shall be known, and it is the truth that shall always set you free. So we need to reach at a point where we allow the truth to speak for us. As things stand, for that deacon, we don't know which congregation, the truth has set him free. Because they're saying, Matibera, then Babachani, Mulinavu.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, anyway, away from that, we were talking about the Imisepela app that government has launched. Actually, it is President Hijilema that launched that particular app on the Youth Day, and since that time, there's been excitement among the young people. I haven't downloaded the app. I was debating whether I'm a young person or not, but then with what Mwene has explained, you never know. There would be a lot that would come your way, and maybe taking advantage of this, Mwene, to talk to our fellow young people within the confines of the church. It does not choose. Remember, it is your livelihood. So it doesn't matter whether you are a member of a certain church or not. The app is for every Zambian. For me, I take it that the app has come to expose what was hidden from the public eye. Now you will know promptly what is there in terms of job opportunities, and if you have the right qualification, because I think it speaks so highly of the skills that people already have, and because of that, and we will be discussing skills in a moment on this platform. Because of that, again, it is a challenge that we have been given, Mwene, to reach at a point where we maximize our potential by acquiring skills. This time around, there is CDF that is helping a lot of people acquire skills. Now, a skill may not necessarily be something that you be for at school for a period of 4 years, but it's within 3 months, some 6 months, others 1 year. Provided you have this and you see on the app that they are looking for you, then you take advantage and throw yourself into the list, so that, who knows, you've been praying, and this is a way that God is responding to your prayers.
Yeah, and also for the young people in church, a challenge to the youth leadership and at all levels, union, conference, district, local church. One of the things we can begin doing now is to incorporate our learning and skills into the CDF. So we've got what we call honors, and those honors are basically skills, actually.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So I think there's that room for collaboration, so that we not just do them and get those church certificates alone, but they can now be certified by, TVETA, and it will be easy for young people to also get jobs from those things. And we can utilize the CDF as well to begin to, when you get those skills, you can go and learn at a higher level, so that you become useful. Just to talk of the same 20 million kwacha that I mentioned that the CEEC has given, I think each youth was getting about 20,000 kwacha. So if you have that idea, you have the business, there's that 20,000 kwacha waiting for you.
Well, 20,000 is waiting for you. We hosted the young people last week, and there is one who started from nowhere selling samosas, and then eventually he dreams big. And that tells you and me that there is no limit to what we can do as young people. There are opportunities that you can create yourself. There are opportunities that are being created for you as a young person. And so just seize everything and begin to move in that direction. You opened something very interesting, and I don't know how we can harmonize or harness that. The honors that we are offering have probably downplayed, been downplayed by a number of us, because we think it's an honor pushing me to the next level. I'm going to get to Master Guide and SYL. The other one is what? The
CMTs, those things.
Yeah, there's something I don't even know. Maybe age is catching up.
Okay, yes, so those ones were sort of phased out and now incorporated into the club ministries training, the new CMT.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
Sir.
So all that put together is good. But imagine somebody who has done housekeeping. You have done housekeeping now as an honor. And it is possible you can use that to work in a lodge. But then maybe the people in the people that are employing you would not see that as qualification enough.
Exactly.
It is only me, an Adventist, that is running probably a lodge that would understand to say, this one is as good as being trained at an institution.
Right.
But are you seeing how powerful the youth movement can be with all its curriculum to ensure that somebody is going to reach at a certain level of attaining skills? How about we now register the youth movement as an institution and then become affiliated to TVET, for example.
Exactly.
And so that when we have given you an honor in housekeeping, your certificate is coming from TVET. And you can present it at any place that is in need of a housekeeper. And they'll still bring you on board, because it is a qualification and a record has already been submitted by the evidence that it is coming from TVETA. I'm just thinking, maybe we needed to move in that direction.
It's high time we actually moved into that direction, because the training that we offer in the youth ministries is top-notch.
Yes.
And we have seen a lot of people, do quite a number of things. It's in rare instances that we get to see TVETA included in our studies. Maybe that is when there's a skills camp, but those programs don't come on a yearly basis.
No.
However, the honors trainings are done maybe on a monthly basis in these local churches. So if we can have a system where these qualifications are incorporated with TVETA, it means every time a student graduates from church, they have this legit qualification, okay? Making, of course, AOI is already a school, but now making this school become recognized by the government because it is offered with this certification that can help a young person get into, finding a job or something. And I guess that's some food that maybe the union or the conferences might want to feed on and be able to start digesting and making those collaborations with the relevant authorities to make sure that the young people do not only get demotivated. Because to some extent, if you see why we have young people who at this point are no longer as encouraged as they were to attend youth programs, it's because they begin to feel like whatever they are acquiring has got no external value besides the church. So now we need to add this external value, because what we are doing is already valuable, but we just need to make it recognizable even beyond the borders of the church.
Well, that's a challenge. Food for thought. I don't know how you are picking it. I don't know how you are receiving that. But at the end of the day, it is supposed to give us a reason really to reach at a point where we begin to add value to what we are doing. Yes, it is good that we move as a movement to teach ourselves all these issues and honors and all that. But when you add value to it, everyone is going to be looking forward to an opportunity to learn and use it to their greater good. We take a break, Mwene, now.
Sure.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back on the other side as we get to the main interview of the day.
that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
Did you know that you...
All right, thank you so much for still staying with us. And now we are at that point where we get into the main discussion of our program this afternoon on Hope Live. But you also agree with me that youth empowerment and skills development remain central in Zambia's national development agenda. With a large percentage of the population made up of young people, the question is, how do we equip these young people with practical skills, discipline, and opportunities for self-reliance and become increasingly relevant to what we are living for in our time? And you will agree with me now that in response to these challenges, government institutions have continued to promote programs aimed at strengthening vocational training, entrepreneurship, and national service. One of the key institutions playing a role in this effort is the Zambia National Service under the Ministry of Defense, which has been implementing youth training initiatives designed to equip young people with practical skills while instilling values of discipline, responsibility, as well as patriotism. Now, through such programs, young people are exposed to technical and vocational skills that can help them contribute meaningfully to the economy while also preparing them to become responsible citizens. Now, on Hope Life today, we are exploring this role of skills training and national service in empowering Zambia's youth and shaping a productive generation for the future. And to help us unpack this and many more issues surrounding skills development in this country, we are joined on this platform and greatly humbled that the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Mam. Honored to have you, sir, and welcome to Hope Live.
It's a privilege to be here. I must mention that I'm happy to be here. I've had a couple of interviews with Hope Channel at my office and elsewhere, but it's good to be in studio.
We've been chasing you to come in studio since you were at the Ministry of Local Government, but I don't know why it's when you're at Defense that you have come. Maybe to offer us protection.
He's probably prayed enough, and the prayers have been answered, hence me coming here. But anyway, it was just a question of time. In the long run, time and chance favors also. I had to come through.
That's true, and we are greatly humbled that finally you are here. There is a lot that we can obviously discuss here. We might not even exhaust everything, but there is the issue that is exciting coming from the Ministry of Defense under the Zambia National Service, which is making a whole lot of us happy, but us that are already out of the youth bracket, we are not happy that these things are coming at this particular moment. But first and foremost, let's try and probably get the background to what government has done through the Zambia National Service, the voluntary training of the young people. When it came at first, we were thinking, well, you are getting to ZNS as an officer, but then over time things come in different forms and shapes, and we are thinking, but this is not what we anticipated. You would love to help us come to speed with this reality.
Well, thank you very much, and once again, thank you for inviting me. I think it's important to just lay a bit of background from a country perspective and from the current happenings.
All right.
You will note that historically, I think we had a similar activity through the National Service. Those who passed through secondary school from 1974, 5, 6, 7, 78, up to 1980, 81, it was mandatory for anyone who completes school to go for ZNS training. And then in 1981 or thereabout, government reviewed its position and had issues with sustainability of the activity and decided to suspend it. But fast forward, getting into 2021, we had Mr. Ejidema elected as president, and he mentioned to say we need to reintroduce ZNS training in a form that is sustainable. Because with the underlying understanding that he is, as an individual, a beneficiary of this ZNS training. And I think he has personal belief that it adds quite a lot of value to the well-being of a person and therefore the well-being of society. And that is how the whole idea was mooted. And fast forward in 2025, we did announce to say we are now calling for those who are interested to volunteer on this training activity. Of course, working in close collaboration with our colleagues from local government. It's interesting that you're saying you invited me when I was at local government and I never came, so perhaps I'm putting on a number of caps. So it was, it's an initiative which is being funded primarily by the CDF. And of course, other stakeholders such as the president himself have put in private resources to ensure that it does function. So we did advertise. We said we needed to have at least 7 individuals from each constituency, and we also did indicate to say 4 of whom must be male and 3 female. This is to just ensure that we've got a correct mix in terms of gender balance.
Right.
And the applications were handled through the constituencies and then sent to the district administration office, who then forwarded them to the provincial administration, and then the provincial administration made these names available to us as a ministry to carry out medicals and just the final endorsement. So that is how the process, the whole process really was done in terms of the application procedure. Then before that, we were working in the background to say, as we congregate this group of young people, what is it that we must focus on? We realized to say that one of the key things that we need to look at is the aspect of national values and principles. And we took that to be a key thing, and therefore, in the scheme of works, everyone, it is compulsory that you learn your national values and principles. Secondly, we also said, as a country, we are a country that has vast pieces of land which are arable. And we are saying agriculture is one of the growth areas for our economy. Now, as we are looking at what is emphasized in the 8th National Development Plan. So we also said agriculture must be compulsory. You did mention in your intro to say there are aspects of discipline, and we said, how do we incorporate this to ensure that we have a cadre of young people who are disciplined enough to carry out assignments? We said we need to introduce basic military training. Right. So in the basic military training, they undergo some training in drills. I'm sure that our viewers who are watching, particularly Adventists, will know that pathfinders often have these drills. But even in the military, this is where it is all coming from. So a drill will teach you discipline, will teach you to march together, will teach you to tend together, will teach you to handle tasks together. So that's why this was introduced. And we also said, as part of the military training, as we are inculcating this sense of togetherness, this sense of discipline, we also need to look at aspects of hygiene. So there are a number of activities really which we are looking at in terms of building a young person who have character, a young person who have discipline, a young person who will be focused, a young person who want to deliver for themselves even as they are working for their country. So in essence, this is where we are coming from, and we are now at a stage where we are saying our young people have been in training from around September. They should be done with their training within April, and we should have the graduation. And I must also mention to say, other than those aspects which I mentioned to say are compulsory, there are various other skills that have been imparted on the youths. People may have opted to specialize in aspects around ICT, aspects around auto mechanics, plumbing, electrical, working on leather, a lot of various aspects which really have been put there. The whole idea being, we want to have a youth who, when they graduate, they should be able to either be self-employed or they can be employed. And like I indicated, this is a whole government approach. The certification that will be awarded to the youths will be recognized or is recognized by TVETA. So these are TVETA accredited courses. So if you want to be an employee, as you leave the ZNS voluntary training, when you write your application letter, you will be indicating, find attached here with a copy of my certificate. Right. And this will be available. This will be a key to help you open a number of doors. But similarly, if you also want to be self-employed, as you go to Mr. Shalala to say, Mr. Shalala, I'm a plumber, and Mr. Shalala is looking at you to say, you produce a certificate to say, here is my certificate. And when training, and not just training, if you go to ZNS Chishimba or ZNS Chiwoko or ZNS Kitwe, there's that little building in the corner. Those 4 blocks there, it is me who actually did this. And I'm now available to work for you. Give me an assignment, I'll work for you. So certification gives confidence to potential employers and members of the public vis-a-vis your claim to say you are able to execute a particular assignment. So I think that's the general direction that we are moving in as government, really just trying to put opportunities out there, especially for the young people.
Well, for me, it appears, even before I say that, I want to push one gentleman into the training for various reasons. He's next to you, so make
Yes,
sure.
Sonny.
Yeah,
He needs to shave.
Yes.
We need to clean him up so
Yeah.
that he can be the correct fit. But I guess these are the young people who will be the future for the country. You've been recommended.
Sure, yes, I think I'll go for the training.
but I pray he will not give you a problem. He will be asking, do you offer theology courses in training? But then it's Taveta. It has nothing to do with that. But with what you have said, let's agree here that our population is largely young people. And this move that government has taken really speaks one thing. But the question would be, why is it important that government is investing so much in the young people? Yes, it's voluntary, and I know that the response has been overwhelming. The fact that you got people from every constituency and others were looking forward, but the opportunity did not come because of the numbers. But why do you think it is important for government to invest heavily in youth skills as well as development?
I'll answer a question in this way.
All right.
I have a couple of children. The question is, who should we invest resources in? My children or myself? I think the answer is my children, because they are younger, they've got a longer life to live compared to myself. I've lived my life. I'm not a very old person, but I'm certainly older than him and older than yourself. And I'm looking at the people in the studio. I wish the viewers could see who's in the studio.
Yeah.
I think that I'm older than most of the people in this studio.
Yeah.
And therefore, realistically speaking, all things being equal, I'm expected to die before yourselves. And therefore, it follows that we must invest in yourselves, because you are the ones who carry the vision of this country. You are the ones who ensure that the next generation, will find a better country. You have indicated, and clearly so, that majority of the Zambian population is youth. And majority of the people who are looking for jobs, who are looking for opportunities, are youths. And therefore, it's important that we focus on this group of people. And notwithstanding that, we will not say leave the old men and women away in this discussion. Because remember, and this is one thing which we often forget, both you young people and even me who's an adult, sometimes, when a parent is talking to you, we tend to take a posture to say, what can they tell me? Our times are different from their times.
Yeah.
But one thing we must always remember is that they have lived through the life that you are living.
Right.
They have an understanding. They have that experience. And therefore, it is important that even when they are trying to give you direction, it is not because they do not understand the dynamics of this day. No, not at all. It is because they understand what it is to be a youth. They know the challenges that you face. They know the pressures that you undergo. Even when you are smiling, they can actually tell to say, this boy or this girl, today he's avoiding face contact because he was probably consuming alcohol. Or maybe there's some young boy who's been cheating him to say, I love you. But they will not just tell you that. But they'll give you advice to say, avoid this, avoid that, so that you can become a better person. And similarly, when you're looking at it from a government point of view, really, that is the thrust, that is the direction which we are taking. We want to ensure that the young people are given an opportunity to succeed. The young people are given a chance to avoid some of the detrimental behaviors which can lead them really to failure. We've seen you move around the streets of Lusaka, and most other urbanized parts of the country, you find that there are quite a number of young people who are getting addicted to drugs, who are getting addicted to alcohol, who in the process they end up involving themselves in a number of illicit things, and you tend to wonder to say, what is going wrong? So these are some of the things which we want to address as government. These are some of the things which are receiving active attention, even as we now go and look at our overarching interest as a government, which is economic and social development. We want to create opportunities for people to be able to succeed. And we are also saying we will not just create an opportunity for you because you are young. We want you to work because this is the only pathway. You know, you cannot be successful if you are just seated here and saying, no, me, my father or my Bali is a good man. He's done this, that. You know, I don't need to work, I'll succeed. It doesn't work like that. You need to work hard. You need to be focused. You need to till the land. You need to apply the skills that you have acquired. You need to use this knowledge which has been inculcated in you via the various training activities. And most importantly, you need to keep focused. You need to ensure that you are goal-oriented. You must be deliberate. You must have a purpose in life. I mean, each day when you wake up, you must say, this is where I want to go to. And you must keep the focus and move towards the target that you want to accomplish. It sounds very, very complex as I am speaking, but in practice, it is just a question of making a decision. What do I want to be? You know, just like when we come to church, often the pastors, you know, after reading out the sermon, praying, they would make a call at the altar.
Yes.
To say, how many are willing to accept the Lord as their personal Savior? Mm-hmm. And you all make individual decisions. You raise your hand there. The pastor calls you to the front. It's not that the pastor is holier than you. No. The pastor is a channel. True. Is a vessel that is being used by the Creator to just preach the word out there. What is critical is your conviction as a person. Even for that person who may not respond the call by coming in front, but wherever they are seated, they tell themselves to say they believe. They will begin to read the Bible. They will begin to understand the Word of God, and they will have purpose to live the way God intended us to live.
All right.
And this is actually not, without veering off. It is a similar thing even when you are looking at a country. We're a Christian country. We believe in Christianity. We espouse Christian values. And Christian values tell us to say we must work hard, we must be honest, we must be men and women of integrity.
Right.
And we must till the land. That's why, as government, we are saying, young people, we are granting an opportunity. We want you to grasp it with both hands and let us drive the agenda, not for the benefit of me, your parent, but for your own benefit and the benefit of your children. That is what we are looking at. We are not looking at short or quick wins, and because many times that is what really distracts us. You know, you tell yourself to say, I need to score quickly so that the people out there ululate and clap for me. But that is not the way of government. As government, we are saying we want to look at these things from a long-term point of view. Plant a seed now, nurture it, let it grow, and then we'll begin to reap the harvests after a protracted period of time. But we are staying on the course.
We're staying on the course. Before probably Mwene would come in, I want to probably cough this one out. Ministry of Defense, to a larger extent, we know it as an institution that when I hear about defense, it's all about security matters. And you have moved in this direction where the Ministry of Defense is now moving in a direction where you want to empower young people, because the first cohort is one that is graduating next month, if I heard you correctly. And then somebody sits in the corner and say, well, if they'll call for the second one, I'm not going, because I've heard it's not about being in the security wing. I'm not going to do security matters, but it is skills development. How can you probably help us appreciate that your contribution to national development as well as defense can still be harmonized in this particular undertaking that the Ministry of Defense through the Zambia National Service has undertaken?
I was about to become military. I was about to say, as you were, switch on. And
I'm from the Pathfinder background, so I would hear what the command would be.
Yeah, you see, and that is one of the things really which we have been endeavoring to do as a ministry, to just put it out to the members of the public to say, in as much as our core mandate as a ministry is that of ensuring that we protect the territorial integrity, we protect our borders, we protect our boundaries, we protect our land. Over 750,000 square meters of the land. You know, we also have a responsibility to participate in other sectors of the economy, and I think we have been doing quite a lot in that regard. You know, other than the aspect of the voluntary training which you're referring to, there are quite a number of other activities that we have been doing through the various services at the Ministry of Defense. I think the Zambia Air Force has put together a number of bridges, so has the Zambia Army. I think when you look at the Air Force, we're involved in a lot of humanitarian activities. When there are floods, when there is cholera, the entire military system just comes in to help. You know, we've got a number of medical facilities dotted around the country. You're looking at Minus Soc, you're looking at Northern Command, which help, you know, to deal with people who are not feeling very well. So we are doing quite a lot in that regard. And to just go back to your substantive issue, you know, with regards to, you know, people saying, I was thinking I'm going to get
Military training.
Military training and therefore a military job. That possibility is still there.
Okay.
But you have to undergo the training, and when an opportunity is presented to say, we are now employing officers, the qualification is you must be aged between 18 and 21 or 25. You must be a holder of a Green National Registration Card. Your academic qualifications are defined. And when you tick all those boxes, you who's undergone voluntary training will have an added advantage. In that, you would also be presenting a certificate that says, I did undergo this voluntary training, and
this is my paper.
I had basic military training. Even as you go in there, you quickly adapt to the environment. So it is an added advantage. They're saying it's an added advantage, and we're not just restricting this to the three services, that is National Service, Zambia Army, and Zambia Air Force. We are saying, as government, when we're recruiting in the police, when we're recruiting in the immigration department, civil service, you still have an added advantage because you would have undergone through this training, which has inculcated a sense of discipline in you, a sense of responsibility, effectively making you a better person and therefore a better employee or a better potential employer. Right. So we are looking at a good person coming forth to say, I'm available. And if you are now choosing, you know, you just have this advantage. And we're not limiting this just to government sectors. We are also saying, even in the private sector, you know, they could also rely on this skill. I mean, I did mention in the intro to say there are quite a number of people who did undergo military training, basic military training through ZNS, who have held various positions of responsibility in this country. Beginning with our current president, I think if my memory serves me right, he probably went through the ZNS in Ndola. You know, we've got some deputy secretaries to cabinet who are also at ZNS. We've got various people in the corporate world who went through ZNS training. And when we look at their contribution, when we look at their focus, you can see to say it was a good thing. It is a pity that, you know, post 81, 82, our fiscal space did not allow us as a country to continue with this particular program. So it is a good program. It incorporates both militarism and civilian life, and most importantly, it inculcates a sense of ownership. Zambia all of a sudden will not be looked at as something that exists in obscurity. You'll be looking at Zambia as your country. You'll be looking at Zambia as your personal responsibility, as something which you need to culture and nurture, as something which you need to take to a better position. And that is what patriotism entails. You know, you will not be the person who will be moving on the streets, and you are moving past Lotus School nearby here, and you see a person picking a stone, breaking windows, and you say, okay, no, it's all right. This is government stuff. It doesn't concern me. The moment you see a person doing that, you quickly act. You apprehend such a person, make them available to the law enforcement agencies, so that necessary remedial action is taken. And if they have not yet committed the offense, when you see that they are about to commit an offense, you will be compelled to say, wait a minute. What do you think
that's where the fear is. One would be thinking that military training and somebody is not immediately absorbed into the system, the military system, then they would feel more empowered, and they probably are capable of doing other things that will take the law into their own hands. Before you came, we were talking about where people would want to immediately begin to administer justice to somebody because they perceive that individual has done something wrong. And with that kind of empowerment, you're coming from 6 months training and you feel military enough, and you're going to move in that direction. But that's not the topic for today.
Yes.
Let's probably restrict ourselves to the skills that the young people are getting, which are very critical. I don't know if Mwene wants to come in, but let's also look at the program is bringing young people from different walks of life. And I'm looking at a country like ours that for the longest time we are grappling with the issue of unity. You have people dividing themselves based on regions and all that. But this program, 3 trainings that are based in this northern block or the northern side of the country, and then you are bringing people from all over. What does that really speak to the issues of unity in our country? How can we, with this program, strengthen the unity of our country, especially among the young people that we want to be productive?
I think really the answer is in your question. You know, the way the program was designed was meant to pick, and we actually did pick individuals from across the country. We have 156 constituencies, and each constituency was contributing 7 people, 4 male, 3 female, from all the 156 constituencies. Meaning this is from all the 10 provinces of this country, all the 116 districts. I was about to say all the 1,858 wards, but I would be incorrect if I say that. Yeah. So at least up to constituency level, we picked individuals, and these are individuals who've now congregated in one place, or in this instance, in 3 places. Speaking nothing but speaking Zambia, learning the values and principles of Zambia, working together on tasks as one people. And I think it's very important, when we are talking of national values and principles, when we are talking of togetherness, that is the job of our policymakers. But us as implementers, we now said, how can this be accomplished? And that's how we came up with this structure. And people are living together. People are working together. People are resolving problems together. And that is how you build a nation. That is how you build a team. That is how people really begin to look at issues as opposed to where does this person come from. You begin to look at issues, and this is part of what is being taught, to the young people who are in these, 3 locations. We had the privilege, I think, a month or so ago, to go into Kasama, and we have seen there they're growing tomatoes, they're growing maize, they are looking after chickens. There's also some activities happening in Kitwe. There are also activities happening in Katete, working together towards a common purpose, working together to achieve results, working together to get over the lines. When you go for these basic military training, you run together. You run together, and as you are running, there are people singing or songs, what you call bustele, so that you're all just moving together. Even when you try to get discouraged, the other person will be invariably pulling you to say, let's go. It's not very, very far. It's just that my voice is very poor. That's why I'm not a member of the choir. Otherwise, I'd have probably sang one of the songs for you. But it's about togetherness and in practice, not in reality. It's actually, not in obscurity. We are actually doing this in practice, living together. The way we are seated, the 3 of us here, sharing meals, sharing problems. If when I look at him, because we've been together for the past 30 days, I would easily say, no, when today is not feeling well, because we are living in the same environment. Even when you are probably moving ahead of me, I should be able to say, no. This gentleman today, he seems to have a bit of the limp. There is a problem. So it is understanding and knowing one another. And similarly, even for yourselves, because we are together, you'll be able to tell me, even from the tone of my voice, to say, Hamoundu today, there's something a bit off about him. And you identify the problem, resolve it. That is what togetherness really entails. It's working together, solving problems together, celebrating together, and really defining the success of our country together, and invariably working together towards bequeathing a better future for the next generation.
Thank you, PS, on that one. And also, you mentioned quite a number of technical skills that are being provided. And in some part of our society, these have been undervalued. But now that government is actually in the forefront, pushing for these skills using CDF and also this voluntary training, do you think the perception is going to change?
Well, I think the perception will change, and it must change. When you are undervaluing a particular skill, it is because you've never had a need. But once you have a need, you realize the importance of a particular skill. I'll tell you, just this morning, my daughter called me, and incidentally, her name is Mweni. Wow. She called me, and she sent me a video of water leaking at the place where she lives. And that is a plumbing problem. Oh, yeah. Given, it's a plumbing problem. And we're talking about the value of a plumber. Okay? If that pipe is not fixed, we have a problem. We'll be losing a lot of water. And of course you're saying, but what is water? It's readily available. There's rainwater. It is a bill. The water bill will go up. I'm talking about defining a value. So sometimes because we just think at it from an ordinary point of view, would actually say, but who's a plumber? Okay? But the plumber in this instance has responded and has gone there, has repaired the leak, and has saved me money because my meter was running. And that was money just oozing out. Every minute that that particular facility was, remained unattended to, I was losing money. So this is where the importance really of skills are. We must all begin to value and appreciate the skill that the other person has, because if we do not, this is where we miss out on opportunities to resolve quite a number of challenges. Be it a plumber, be it a bricklayer, be it an electrician. If you don't appreciate what an electrician can do and you try to do it yourself, you'll be shocked by electricity. You'll be lucky if you don't end up being in hospital.
Oh, yeah.
But a person who's skilled in electrical maintenance will know how to handle the positive and the negative. When you look at ICT, people are being trained in ICT. Sometimes we take it for granted. I think even for me to be seen or to be watched by people out there, there's an element of ICT that is involved in there, and there are other skills. So it is really just appreciating the value that each and every person brings on the table. We are being watched now by so many people, and people do not realize to say behind the scenes, there's a sister of mine who's controlling things. There's a producer. There's someone in the background who's making things happen. All they're seeing are the two of you and myself, and they're saying Hamandu talks a lot, but they're not seeing the one who's facilitating. So it is important in life that we must appreciate to say there are people who may be behind the scenes and doing things that are not seen. They are just as important as the one whom you are seeing, who's talking and seemingly making sense. Even for me to come to a studio like this, I had people in the background who were organizing these things to say, you need to go to this place. I have a driver outside who drove me to this particular facility. I have a person who's handling aspects of protocol to ensure that I'm on time for the particular program. It's appreciation to say we need all skills, all values. Everyone can bring value on the table. So I think as we go on, values, I think skills will be more appreciated, particularly that there's been a bit of emphasis from government. And we've seen the response from the young people has been overwhelming, meaning that they are saying this is the way to go and we can be, we can contribute in a meaningful way to our society.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. And I can simply say I think government has set the bar so high when it comes to promoting these skills. What challenge do you have to other stakeholders aside the government so that they can also come on board, and what role can they play in order to make sure that these skills are being promoted so that they can contribute to the broader agenda of Zambia's development?
I think the challenge that we are placing onto other members of society, onto the public generally, really is that let us utilize these skills. And I really don't want to say we are placing it as a challenge, because I want to believe that even the private sector players are responsive. Most recently on 12th of this month, the president launched what is calling the Misepela platform. And the people who are supporting, the people who are making jobs opportunities available are private sector players. So we are happy with the coming together of private sector, working in close collaboration with government, because together we can actually build a better country. We all need each other. The private sector is key when it comes to economic and social development, because they are the ones with the capital. They are the ones who create employment opportunities. They are the ones who have a number of workers, And for government, we are happy to facilitate. And we can facilitate in various ways, such as the digital platform, which I just referred to, which was launched by the president. And I think for us, this is very, very important, is to continue narrowing the gap, continue reducing the information gap, and continue making readily available as many opportunities as possible. You know, and one thing I often tell young people is that many a times we say, no, I'd applied for this job, I was not picked. No, I think for me, I've been searching for jobs and I'm not being picked. Mm-hmm. But you are reading the announcements to say so many people have employed. I always tell people to say, when he's employed, be happy for him. Mm-hmm. Because the next thing is, when you are employed, you'd also want him to be happy for you. Mm-hmm. So let us be happy for each other. Let us celebrate those who have been given opportunities, because opportunities will always come in the future. As it is often said, time and chance favors everybody. Mm-hmm. So your time and chance will come. So when it's your friend's time, celebrate them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, time does not even allow us to continue, but sitting and listening to a whole lot of what you had to say, especially that government is heavy on ensuring that our young people are equipped. Under a minute, P.S., under a minute. You are more than a preacher. Under a minute, the only thing that I can say is our youths were just celebrating Youth Day, and their theme was Arise and Soar. So all I can say to the people of this country, you have an opportunity, arise and soar. Take up these opportunities, and the future is there for you to grasp. And as government, we are willing and ready to play our facilitative role. That's it.
And with that, we can say amen. Amen.
No, thank you so much, PS. And we are greatly honored that this information has been given to our young people. Our audience is full of a lot of young people. One of them is seated next to you. I'm praying. He has heard.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Right, we end here, Mwene.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. You've been watching Hope Live, and we were discussing equipping Zambia's youth with skills, discipline, and also opportunity. And our guest was Mr. Mambo Hamahundu, the Permanent Secretary under the Ministry of Defense. Thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you on Wednesday, same time.